message is for all women like me and all those who love to support women like me. Listen, I want to tell you guys about just recently. I like to share my rebukes because, again, we learn from one another, right? And I also want to keep the message out there that even though you are resisting sin, you're trying to live as closely aligned as possible, you still need correction. The Father will discipline you. He will make sure you hear what you need to hear. It is also a choice to accept and not reject what you're hearing. Whether he's sending you information through your dreams, through someone online, it could be through a sermon, which also includes sermons online. It could be through someone in person. Sometimes the rebukes are not just going to be like plain, like, hey, insert name, you need to stop doing this, or I need you to start doing this, instead of, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be through somebody explaining what they've been doing incorrectly, okay? Or it could be just the information comes to you of something that's occurring. This is how the Holy Spirit does what he does when you make space for him. It's your stirring of your spirit that makes you know that you are, resonating with something that you're hearing. It's like, oh, I do that too. Lord, did you see this for me? I want to reiterate, and I've mentioned this before, you're always supposed to check and ask the Lord. Anytime you're hearing something from somebody that you think is a message for you or some insight or information for you, all you got to do is take it back to the Lord in prayer. Ask him, was that for me? Was that a rebuke? Were you correcting me? Have I been doing this wrong? Do I need to change this? And again, this is something I'm always say, I guess I sound like a broken record at this point. If you are not sure that you can hear the answer from the Lord by bringing it to him in prayer, that's an issue. You need to fix your relationship with him. I have explained over and over again how you do that, but one of the biggest things that separates you from the Lord is sin. One of the other things that separates you from hearing Holy Spirit is your rejecting of Holy Spirit, your quenching of Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit can't talk to you while you're shushing him. It doesn't work. And the Lord is not going to be battling with you to get your attention. He is God. And then the third thing is that you may just not be making enough time for him in your day. Fix your relationship. Relationships take time, effort, and attention and intention. And it's you that has to be the driving force of it. The Lord does not force himself on us. We have to choose him. When you are continuing to keep yourself open to him, he will correct you, y'all. He will correct you. If you're going months and months from the Lord not realigning you in something, it's not that you're not doing things that need to be realigned. I'm gonna say 90% sure, because he's leading me to make this video. So there's a reason for why I'm saying these things and why he had me get this message in my spirit to help others. It's probably that you're just not listening to how he is coming to you. And again, this goes back to relationship. If you don't know how the Lord is speaking to you in this season, ask him. Sometimes we be feeling far from the Lord and we know that something's shifted, and then we don't do the due diligence to investigate. Okay, the Lord not gonna spoon feed you everything. That's a part of maturing in your relationship with him, and not allowing him to become a formula, because he doesn't want to become a formula to you. That's not relationship. You don't approach somebody and say this plus this get this result, and that's how I interact with them. No. So just like we not robots, he's not robot. He's not a robot. Just like, it's not always I'm a fast for this result or I'm a pray for this result. Sometimes the Lord will have you read. Sometimes the Lord will show you things in your environment. Sometimes the Lord will switch up your prayer time. Sometimes the Lord will have you understand how you need to change your prayer life. Sometimes, we got to be as low as possible with the Lord to make sure we are in alignment, because that's what it's all about. He brought us here to serve him, y'all, and that's where we keep getting it mixed up. It is not about what we want to do in our pleasures on this earth. He's going to give us all the pleasures more than we can even think, more than we can fathom, as a reward, reigning with Christ in the afterlife and spending eternity with him in his presence, as if that's not a reward enough. But it takes intention. So, okay, I'm saying all of that to say, again, alignment is not automatic. We have humanly ways, humanly habits, things that we do. I want to say I won't say automatically, but in our nature, that will shift us off of the path that the Lord wants us to be on, even if it's taking a 1-2 step to the right. And as long as we keep our ear to him, he just nudges us back in alignment. And it's not a big deal. But if you haven't felt that or understood that or got a notion recently of anything that you could be improving and doing better on with the Lord, then he probably already tried to tell you or show you, and either you've become so distant that you're not hearing his voice when he's speaking to you and how he's speaking to you, or you're just straight up ignoring. You're straight up just quenching Holy Spirit when he's trying to talk to you. You don't want to hear what he has to say. So because it may not be comfortable for whatever it is, you may think that you're hearing wrong, or what you've heard may not be comfortable. Just imagine how I felt when the Lord told me that I needed to get out my Bible. And I told y'all this story before, but anything that you're going to for comfort instead of your relationship with the Lord can become an idol to you. And I wasn't reading for like understanding knowledge. I was reading as a resolve of, Lord, I feel scared right now. I feel hopeless right now. I'm upset right now. I need answers. It was me, the Bible. I started to form a relationship with the Bible. And that's not what the Bible is supposed to be to us, y'all. I don't care how many people tell y'all, get in your word, get in your word, get in your word, get in your word. The word is not a box of God. The word is the truth of God. And we need to use it appropriately. But my point was, there will be some things that the Lord will try to correct about what you're doing in your daily life that may not feel right for you to accept, may not seem comfortable. Again, you might think that you're hearing wrong. You might think that you've come across a message that wasn't for you. You might think that a person is telling you something that, I don't need to really pay attention to this. This doesn't sound like something that I needed to hear. Maybe they were mistaken. Maybe, okay, but maybe they weren't. So I'm just going to share with you guys my most recent rebuke. I thank God for rebukes. I don't get upset. I always confirm it with him, like, is this what you were telling me? And I just move accordingly. I don't get upset because in this is a scenario where we can say it's going to happen. It is expected to happen. We are not perfect. We're supposed to be dependent on God to fine tune and continue to grow and develop our relationship with him in our walk. That's the benefit of having a relationship. So he can tell and show us exactly what we need to do and what we're not doing correctly, and etc. How we can strengthen our relationship and how we can move according to his will and what he has purpose for us. So that's the conversation of, yes, I should expect to fall out of alignment because I'm walking towards the guidance of someone else and I'm dependent on him. So sometimes I'm not going to walk exactly the way that in the exact step or pace and direction or with the right bounce that I'm supposed to, but I'm listening to the Lord to tell me that bounce ain't right. Your stride ain't right now. I need you to start skipping in this season. You can't walk it like, no, we're not speed walk. I need speed walking. I need you to go ahead and or I need you to slow it down right now. You know what? You've been walking for too long in this direction. I need you to turn left. Take a rest. That's hearing the instruction of the Holy Spirit and being dependent upon that. Because if we're not, we can start walking at a pace in a direction that the Lord ain't never want us in. And before we know it, we're not only just misaligned to where we're supposed to be, we're far off. Okay, the rebukes help us with that. So don't know we all fall into seeing me. Don't like that. I don't want to hear that. That's a choice, and you don't have to, and we can fix that. But we will all get out of alignment because when you're actually living in full submission to God, it's a faith walk, which means that you can't see where you're going. So anyway, my most recent rebuke was because I preferred to I've been in isolation for a long time, and I got videos about that too. So don't talk to me about that, okay? I've been in isolation for as long as the Lord wanted me to be in there. And that's another issue. Some people think that, so when they actually follow the leading of the Lord to go into isolation, because a lot of people don't even do that, so that he can process and get distractions out and speak to you and have you consecrate and prepare you for your work and assignments. When he actually calls you in isolation and you go, a lot of people can't stay. A lot of people can't stick. The wilderness season, a lot of people call it the wilderness season. A lot of people don't submit to it fully. They they go into it. They feel like, okay, it's time to pop back out now. It's time for me to go do this assignment. It's time for me to go work. I'm restless. I don't want to be here alone. I don't want to slip into depression when I'm not dependent on Jesus to fill in my spaces that I'm feeling lonely at. You don't have to feel lonely in isolation. When you feel lonely, it can be for a few minutes and it'll pass if you're doing the right things. This is part of discipleship. We don't have people teaching us this stuff. But anyway, so yeah, you get out there and you start moving. The Lord is not moving you in haste. The Lord will move you according to when you're prepared to go out and walk in your purpose. And when you're first taking your walk seriously as a Christian, it takes time for you to hear the Lord and be developed into who he needs you to be before you understand your identity and your purpose and your assignment. Like, what am I supposed to do? And there are times when he will send you out Go to a place where I will show you. Okay? The bottom line of this, if you're not hearing the Lord tell you the when, the what, the how, the how fast, the where, you don't get the details of what he wants you to do. Or you might listen to somebody else without checking with him. Well, anyway, I've been in isolation for quite a while. There have been times that the Lord, and I'll ask him to it as well, when the Lord has allowed me to leave and, you know, go do things, be with some friends that he approves of me being with. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, there have been times where he'll let me go out and he'll call me back in. You know, he doesn't want us to be hermits and not enjoy our lives and feel despair, but he does want us to trust him in isolation and processing. And especially if you're called to do a great work with him, you have to sit down with him. You have to develop habits and disciplines in yourself during this time that you're meant to carry on with you. You have to develop a trust in the Lord and his instructions that you will carry on with you until whatever your next season is when you're actually doing the work. So boom, I was ready to go out to a concert the other day, and the Lord was like, no. He told me no. And I said, oh Lord, you're being so mean to me. I didn't say that. I said, oh Lord, how am I still here? You know, when he first called me into my isolation season, he first started breaking people away from me, making me make decisions to step back in 2024, in October, November 2024. Yeah. Then at first it was just like, okay, let's get your feet wet. Let's see if you can do this 2 months. Then it was like, okay, you out, and then okay, like come back in. by the end of January I was out, and by the end of March I was back in. And you know, then it went until probably about October. Let me come out for a little bit and brought me back in. But you can't even hear the Lord calling you to make such changes when you're not keeping yourself low to him. That's what I need y'all to understand. I be missing instructions, and he makes sure I hear it, because what else I'm gonna do? I spend my days and my sleep time listening for him. But can you just imagine, if you're not submitted in that way, what instructions you miss from him? It's not me praying and talking his head off. It's, do y'all actually leave the Lord room to speak to you? How do you get instruction from somebody you can't hear? Do you know that sometimes the Lord don't even speak directly? He'll like riddle you and puzzle piece you. Like, I was driving down the street today, and I just looked over into the sky, and I saw you know, in my mind's eye, I saw a word. It just flashed and went away. A specific word. Why? Is that you? What? And it was something I needed to hold. The other piece came later when I went home and I got into my prayer time with him. But what I'm saying is, like, if the Lord's been trying to do this with you, and you know what I was saying about the puzzle pieces, and you know, Jesus showed us about him speaking in I don't know why I call it riddles, but what I mean is parables, and you know, indirectly, it's part of his nature. And in some ways, you know, what he has shown me is that just as he explained, people without the Holy Spirit people without the Spirit are not going to understand the parables. Sometimes he speaks that way to you for protection of what he needs to say to you. Or remember, there's an enemy always lurking. What is that? What is that song? Dang, I just heard a song in my mind. It was a rap song though. Something about the enemy always lurking. Child, anyway, it's true. That's what I want you to know. Always lurking. It don't matter who it is. Some people are lurking in the flesh that you don't even categorize as an enemy yet, but the Lord knows why there's certain things that he'll have to tell you a certain way, and then there's certain information that he's going to tell you not to share with people and just stuff like that. But are you listening, or are you spending all of your prayer time talking? When do you listen to God? Do you allow your dreams to be a space where he can connect to you? Like, you have to have an awareness of that. But okay, let me get back to the point of my video here. The point of my video here is that the Lord will rebuke me because I wanted to go to this place. And he's been trying to help me see that I need to flush the old me down the toilet, because what he has been working on me for years. But there are little things I can look back and be like, oh, that's why that happened like that. That's why that happened like that. I didn't even know the Lord's hand was in this. Like, And then stuff be lining up when you go in retrospect and look back and see how the Lord done been there with you this whole time, trying to create circumstances for you to walk into what you need to walk into, because he knew that this day was coming where you was going to be ready to walk into it, and you were going to actually figure out who you were to him and what you mean to him and what you need to do here. But anyway, so yeah, he's like, I need you to flush the old you down the toilet, girl. Like these habits, these things that you used to want to do, these places you used to want to go, these things, these people, this mindset that you've had, you still are trying to figure out who I know you are. And we're coming into this conflict of interest. It's like, you want me for this, but I want me for this, and it's creating a conflict. And he's teaching me how I need to surrender certain things, and it don't have nothing to do with the concert itself. It has something to do with, I need your time right now. This is why you're still in isolation. This is why I keep calling you back. Yeah, I let you up for air, but I need you to focus. There is something about how you're interacting with me right now, child, that I need you to strip out of you for now, child, so that I can do what I need to do. I need you to lock in. That's basically what he's trying to make me understand. I admit to lock in this season, and he knows that I feel like this season is a never-ending season. I truly feel like I'm on lockdown. I need you to be with me, and don't feel like it's robbery to sit with me on the Saturday night, on the Friday night, doing what we do. It is a privilege. Because do you have any idea how many people are missing me right now? But you got me. He's like, do you understand the magnitude of this? And it's not that it's not enough for him to spread around. It's that it's not enough people that are submitted to him like this. So, which is a shame. It's like I have crossed a line with the Lord that I can never uncross. I can never unsee. I can't go back. I'm too deep in, I feel like I know the Lord in a way that so many people should know him, but they don't. And they can. And that's part of why I am here. That's part of what this channel is about. Tighten up your relationship, y'all. But anyway, you stay on course. You're staying home. But then the feeling attached to, like, Lord, you're right. You're going to let me go to these concerts. You're going to let me do these things. I need to lock in. It is a privilege to sit here with you on my weekend. It is a privilege. It is a privilege for you to be uncovering me mysteries and speaking to me so clearly. It is a privilege. And I just need to submit to it and start allowing my flesh to want to tear me out of this space where I need to be at, so that he can see me somewhere and nobody regret that I'm out. When it's time for me to be out, it's going to be to nobody's disservice. I would have gone through every little thing that I needed to go through to where I won't have to be pulled back. Because sometimes people be out here out of order and have jumped out because they let a person tell them that they needed to go ahead and start using whatever it is that the Lord worked, whatever assignment, they let a person tell them that it was time. And they didn't go back and check with God, either because they couldn't hear him, or nobody has told them that they needed to do that. The submission wasn't right. But anyway, so I know. So I just need to relinquish my control, quiet my flesh, and sit here in his presence for as long as it's necessary until he sends me out. Because one of the things that he's trying to clean up from me is this in the world, not of the world thing. Yeah, and make sure that I got it. He can see the depths of my heart. I might feel like I got it. And that's a part of where people fall off so bad when they're doing work for the Lord. Especially these people who are called to ministry. The processing of not being of the world. You got to, like, Jesus wasn't tiptoeing on those lines. He wasn't balancing a fence on nothing. He knew what he was sent into these places for. Yeah, he would go to the gutter to get people, but he was clear on who he was and where he wasn't going to be. And he wasn't a Lord of compromise at all. He wasn't finna play with people and allow the enemy to tempt him back into things that he was supposed to be done with. That's why the Lord still got me in isolation. Because I'm assigned to do some things that are going to have me in some weird places with some people whose heart aren't as tender and ready to submit their flesh to the Lord yet, but I'm still being sent to them. And he has to make in me a person who is steadfast in him, who not going to be tiptoeing fences, who is unable to be compromised. Because I prayed for that. And I meant it. And he said, okay, bet. It takes time to make you that person. And if you ask me for that and you meant it, we're going to make you that person. And I'm not going to send you out into do nothing a second sooner than you can handle it. So I have to submit. Lord, whatever Friday and Saturday nights you need from me, you got them. That's all I got, y'all. I done said a lot, so I'm not going to wrap it up with run it back and listen to it again. Listen to it tomorrow with a fresh ear. Because just like, the word from the Lord, you might hear something new later. It happens to me all the time. No matter what it is that I'm watching, just a message of encouragement, a message of a prophetic message, a sermon. Sometimes the Lord will pull that thing back around to me later, and it'll be exactly what I needed to hear, and it will be like I'm hearing it with fresh ears. There'll be something in there that I missed the first time. Y'all know how it is. When you hear a song one time, or 12 times, and you be like, oh, this bass line, I didn't hear that before. Bye, y'all.